Kai Kai. Or if you're, of another culture, Kai. I don't know.
Kai. Kai.
It's two eyes.
Who the is Kai? Yeah, that is the show. Okay. How the fuck do you say Fly Guy Kai? All right. Just say it like you say hi. That's right. This is, oh, man. Could it possibly be episode 20? Yeah, 27. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, what kind of episode is this? That's why I got this easel board that'll, you know what I mean? That'll help me out. Easel board, eraser board, whatever you want to call it. Cool. How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. I be just trying to live a little bit and then come back to this. But the hard thing with being an introvert is that you do a different type of living. All right? You don't necessarily live like other people do. You don't really branch out too much because you're already comfortable making your own world within the confines of a safe space that you have. But what I can do is the things that entertain me. I talk to y'all, you know what I mean? And since, I get I eventually get maybe 10 people that view this or whatever. That's good enough. That means there's people out there who took the time to listen, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm trying to pump it up more. Do some more research, get it together, and see how everything goes. So, checking up on the triples, right? The health triples. That's physical, that's spiritual, and that's mental, emotional. But the easiest one to always get out of the way is spiritual. Spiritual, two main figures, one that holds above all else and one that has meaning. All right, God, love God, appreciate God, loving God, fearing God, check, all that. Yes. Jesus, all right, Yahshua, love Yahshua, check too. No problems there. I don't feel spiritually detached or anything else. So that area, what I like, always remains very consistently good. Great. Always appreciative. Let's get to the physical. Okay? That's the second easiest one to talk about. Your boy, if you look over to my left when I do this, right? Feel a little cocky. I started to do the bench press thing again. It's the one where you have the handles. Like you have the bench press and you can put the plates on each side, but they're individual handles. So you're not really just in case one side is stronger than the other, you're still not sort of leaning on that side a little bit. It's just you're doing both arms at the same time. I was able to lift, and I'm part of it now, 320 pounds on the bench. Give it up for your boy. I don't have any hand clapping sort of noises yet when it comes to editing, because I don't know if that's possible or not. I still gotta look in there, but if it is, then I'm gonna put some hand claps in there. But yes, 320, and to be honest, that's not my max. That's just what I feel comfortable with when I'm benching the machine by myself. So I feel comfortable with doing 320. I'm good with that. Now I'll probably scale it back down and just leave the 3 plates on there, the 3 45s on each side, and just get with that. Just keep pumping those out easy. And for the 320, I do 3 sets of 8. The last one is the one that really kills me, so it kind of turns into a set of 6. But my goal always is to do 3 sets of 8. So that's the major one. Me, I like lifting. I don't like ego lifting, and I don't like trying to train as if I'm trying to be David trying to beat Goliath with more than just a slingshot. It's not me. I'm not entering a strongman contest. Health benefits, look benefits, personal benefits that I got that I want to be in there for. Oh, that's loud. Personal things that I want, and I want my body to be able to, God willing, I'm protected from all forms of danger as far as like health wise and stuff like that. I want to be able to carry on in my old age. I'm still able to lift myself, to to be able to lift myself, to be able to walk around, not need too much assistance. And that's it. But like I said, you never know what can happen, so that's why I try to stay safe up here. I try to stay prayed up. You should do the same. So physical, we got that checked. Now let's get to the mentally emotional. That one for a couple of weeks has been sort of a roller coaster just because of certain things. But of course, the important part is, one, I'm still here, and anybody else that is still struggling and you've made it to another day, you are still here. Keep on going. It's a battle, but it's a battle worth fighting. But oftentimes when it comes to, and I talk about it a lot, when it comes to depression, there's this quote from a song that I heard. I know it's from something else before, but they used it in the song, and it was a dope song. I gotta remember what song it was. I forgot. But it's the term where you're too tired to live, but too scary to die. And I'll always remember that, because sometimes on certain days that shit fits me well. Like and it's not so much like a physical like exhaustion, or not even like sometimes a spiritual one, but it's more like that mental emotional exhaustion of just like I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of how this feels. I'm tired of how things are going. I'm just tired of it, and I want it to stop, but I'm too scary to die. Like I don't know what's on the other side. It don't matter what type of religion is out there. It doesn't matter what answers some people may full-heartedly like have and believe in, or even that I believe in. It's still an unknown. It's not something that people that do, like, they die for like, legally they're dead for like a minute or something, and then they come back to life and they like describe some things. Even then we don't know, like, if they were just stuck in like a slight coma or something and then came back or whatever. We don't know. I ain't trying to find out. But it's just that unknown is really what scares me. But even then, without that, like, I'm just like, when it comes to like the thought of things like that, especially in like super depressing moments of where you feel like, yo, I can't do anything and I don't want to do anything. Like, I can't do anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm just existing. Why am I just existing? I check out. No. Like, no, it's just one of those things where, like I said, sometimes it'll fit. Too tired to live, too scary to die. But other times it just doesn't fit like that. It's like you like to exist, but you want to exist in different circumstances. Like you just don't want to be in the same spot that you're in. And sometimes there's people out there that just can't change it. They don't have the means. They don't have the physical capability, or the mental emotional capability, or even the spiritual capability to keep them going, because they don't have faith or they don't have hope. But for me, like I said, that line will pop up every now and again, and it'll describe my mood per se. And then I, like, as soon as that like started pop up every time, it's just like, yo, immediately I'll pop out of it. Because if not, and I just harbor in on that, where I'm too tired to live but too scary to die, and I'm just like caught in this, what is that, damn it, I forgot, like the in between the living and the spiritual world. I forgot what it's called, but you're just existing, like you're just here, you just a standout. Or sometimes I may just feel like an NPC. An NPC in games is non-player character. Like, it's not the main character. It's something that's in the background that is just there just to be there, just for ambiance, just for somebody else's story to look more, to make the world that they live in look more filled out, look more lively. So there's that. But like I said, it's always like a uphill downhill thing, like stocks. You know, sometimes the stocks are doing good, sometimes the stocks are doing bad. But the important thing is that I pull myself out of the slump that I'm in. And honestly, a lot of times, you know, there are outlets. There's, you know, video games, anime, shows maybe, or just walking or gym time or something like that. But a lot of the times it's just giving it time. Like, it's just me feeling whatever the emotion is and just feeling it out and then letting it pass. Is that the super healthiest way? I don't know. It's just something that works for me. I'd rather do that than choose any type of physical alternative or substance alternative. So anyway, even through all of that, still here. So still a good thing. And also, again, you are still here. So that's still a good thing. All right. So 3 health checks, all checked out. Now let's get to something a little up there. Okay. A little hyper up. It's been some while. It's been some while. Let me fix my grammar. It's been a while. Daima is officially over. 20 episodes. It was a short little, you know, anime, you know, limited anime type of season run. There's enough time for you all to see it. If not, you know, just click away from the video now, or just speed up a little bit and then pop back in, come back later. But overall thoughts on Daima being over. First off, and I was hearing there's a YouTuber on here called Geekdom 101 who's covered Dragon Ball Z stuff for years. I mean, he's the person where if you need to know something and you need some type of, like, someone that has like super knowledge on Dragon Ball Z, that's his channel. And what he was talking about is like, yo, some of this shit in there, it could have been cut out and it probably would have been a shorter anime per se, but also to have a satisfying ending, it could have been longer. Now, was the ending satisfying? Not fully, okay, but it ended in a Akira Toriyama way. It ended in a goofy kind of way, and, you know, things kind of balanced out a little bit, but it wasn't like the grand one we were looking for. I guess that would be a con. Another con, and again, like I said, it's spoiler talk from here on out as far as Dragon Ball Daima, but the introduction of the fusion bugs, once they introduced that, it was like, okay, we have a fusion with the Patara earrings, we have a fusion with the fusion dance. We were waiting for this type of fusion, even if it wasn't going to be Goku and Vegeta. Maybe it had been Goku and Glorio, or Vegeta and somebody like Goku and Supreme Kai. No, I think his real name's Nahara. I keep forgetting. But something. Like, you gave us Super Saiyan 4, which had me through, like, I was eating cereal and watching the last episode, and and felt like I was just Saturday morning, like a 11-year-old Saturday morning kid, just like watching. Like, that's the kind of feeling that Daima was giving me. That's why I like it, because Super gave me some okay moments, but it didn't give me this type of moment where it took me back to Dragon Ball, because I actually did watch Dragon Ball. Unlike a lot of people who only watch Dragon Ball Z, I did watch Dragon Ball. I watched Dragon Ball where you first meet Goku, and Bulma first meets Goku, and they're doing the adventure for a while, with them finally running into oh man, Yamcha and Poir, and running into Oolong, that whole thing going on, and they're making their first wish and having to keep making wishes. Meeting Korn for the first time, the first tournament they went through, seeing Tien be a bad guy, how Goku scaled in power, how he increased over time. Like, I've actually watched all of Dragon Ball. And I learned that, oddly enough, Dragon Ball Z is kind of, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of like an anime, or yeah, it's like an anime thing as far as like how they title it, because honestly, Dragon Ball is a continuation. I mean, of course it's a continuation, but they never put like a Z or nothing else. It was just Dragon Ball for the longest time. Even up to the Buu saga, it was just straight up Dragon Ball. But you got, so the ending, the fusion bugs didn't pan out. The gag with the Ginyu Force knockoffs, that could have been dealt with a lot quicker instead of having a drawn out fight that shouldn't have taken that long. I honestly would have liked it to be longer. Something a little more interesting to happen. But overall, I still give Daima an 8 out of 10, because not only did it expand on the Dragon Ball universe in general, like literally the universe and the multiverse, it put in elements that can possibly be implemented later. Now, Dragon Ball in the manga there's a certain arc called the Moral Arc, and they're going up against this guy that's kind of like a magician in a way, but he's like would you say battle mage in a way, kind of, with the way that he does things. But that aspect, that magical aspect, could have been tied into, I wish Daima was first and then Super, because it would have had more implications. It would have been better, because now when they do future Super stuff, they're gonna have to draw back to Daima, but they're gonna have to like shoehorn it in a way, so it's kind of gonna be weird. But I definitely did like the sense of adventure. I did like the Tamagami fights. Super Saiyan 4, I'm telling you, Super Saiyan, the two big ones was Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and how much you see like when he's in that form, it is like, nah, I'm definitely winning. I'm just gonna fight you with my feet. I'm gonna hit you with a hand every now and again, but I'm gonna fight you with my feet. Just say you're done, because I won. Cool. So he was feeling himself in Super Saiyan 3, and seeing the adult version do Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And them not leaving it like, oh man, he could say Super Saiyan something else. Like, no, he said Super Saiyan 4. So that Super Saiyan 4, and it looks different, but I like how different it looks. And that one makes more sense to me than what we got in GT. Now the GT one's like, the OG one, and it always looks cool, but I like how the colors match in Daima's Super Saiyan 4, if that makes sense. So like I said, overall 8 out of 10 for me. I hope, because sometimes what happens in the manga, in the anime, they may change it slightly. It may come out different, but I hope that they're able to change certain things so that way Daima fits in. and then in a way, the multiverse can fit back into it. Demon World can fit back into it. Majin Ku might make a reappearance or something like that. Maybe Goku has to go back to figuring out how to tap into Super Saiyan 4 to combine it with Super Saiyan MUI, Mastered Ultra Instinct. We can get the Super Saiyan 5 that we always wanted to see. Who knows? But yeah. And for people who played Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is getting the Daima DLC. Some of the DLCs have been super short and not worth it. This one, it looks like you get to actually do the whole adventure of Daima, which could potentially lead you to getting a transformation of not only Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So I can't wait for that one. And I think it's going to come to possibly, it came to Xenoverse. Just the Goku one. No transformations, but it came to Xenoverse 2. I'm sure it's going to come to Xenoverse 2. And it's also going to come to Sparking Zero. Remember to hydrate. Sparking Zero, I'm over it. It wasn't what I wanted, so loss is a loss on money. But for those that still play it, the characters will come there and you'll see how it does. Now let's also get into because I got Avatar stuff and then I got Spider-Man stuff. Let's get to Spider-Man stuff. Also, by now, Spider-Man's done. The whole season is over. People had time to go watch it. So another show where if you didn't get a chance to watch it, even though all of it's out on Disney Channel, and there's only I think it's like 10 episodes. It's a spoiler alert, okay? But I like this one. This Spider-Man was cool. Different type of animation style where it's like computer, but it still looks like it's jumping out of like a comic and stuff like that. Very interesting, very cool. You get a different type of Peter Parker a little bit than the Tom Holland one. They still try to have it to where it's sort of matching up, and it kind of leans a little bit in that direction. But then you see where they take their different turns with the best friend, and including Harry Osborn, but how the Osborns are black now, and they kind of changed certain people's genders and ethnicities, sort of flipped it around. So that's always good. The season ended very well. I actually can't wait for season 2. I don't really have no complaints. You would think that the way that they were making this out for Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that's what it's called. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The way that they were kind of dishing it out was it was the years he was doing Spider-Man before he met Tony Stark, before he went to Civil War, and before he got the suit from Tony Stark and did all that. So it was like, how are they going to do this? That's not really entertaining. Plus, they kind of already did somewhat of a movie on it, but then again, they didn't, because they didn't include the beginner moments. It was just he kind of did like a thing where it was like, hey, I kind of got caught on camera one time saving people in a ridiculous outfit. This one is different. This one, you're seeing him be Spider-Man. You're seeing him come into the suit, come into the name, going up against these different individuals, and it's got that. It's got that Spider-Man charm. Okay, he's not so much a dweeb getting picked on. That one's so outdated. Like just straight up bullying like that. No. That's a super outdated thing. So I'm glad they're starting to kind of wean away from that. They wean less towards he's getting bullied because he's a geek, and more like he's just a geek. Like he's just like a nerd that's smart and is into certain things, but he has a friend that is really close with him. So stuff like that. No complaints from me. Now let's get into Avatar. For a specific reason. because Avatar Seven Havens announced, which is the continuation of the Avatar series that we've been waiting for, and they give you enough information to where it's dealing with twins. For anybody that's been keeping up with Avatar, like, you don't have to be like a super duper fan, but you do have to be a fan. And you did hear the rumblings of they were going to be twins. It was, of course, it was the Earthbenders, if you're following it, and it was going to be twins. It was going to be twin girls or twin boys. No one really knew. We just knew it was going to be twins, and we had ideas of like, oh, there's one who's claiming to be it, but the other twin that doesn't have as much fame as the real Avatar. Or there was one where like the powers were split between the both of them, and it takes the both of them to come together. Another one now is one's the good Avatar and one's the bad Avatar, and them having to, I don't know, try to do something with that. We don't know until it shows. All we know is that something happened, and now the spirits and the humans see the Avatar as the bringer of destruction and no longer the bringer of balance. What did that lead to? That led back again to the Korra hate. Korra hate has been synonymous for a crazy amount of time. Besides and I'm not gonna hold you, there is some facts to where, yes, people don't like Korra because she's a woman. A lot of people don't like a lot of characters that get shined because they're women. But a lot of it too is how her character was written, how she was acting in certain situations, which I come to understand. I still like Korra regardless. I like Avatar the Last Airbender, and I like the Legend of Korra series without a doubt. Okay, her enemies were her enemies that challenged her in unique ways, just like Aang's enemies was his enemies that challenged him in unique ways for that time period. But as soon as this came up, the quick blame, oh, how did Korra fuck up now? Oh, she fucked up because of this or because of that. It's her fault because of this. Like, the blame was specifically all out there. We haven't even gotten to a trailer of the show. It was just a picture, like 2 to 3 sentences of information. And that was it. So that brought up the whole debate of like, yo, Korra's better, Aang is better. Korra fucked up so much. You've got people even on TikTok. There's one person that keeps a page going, not a page but a live going of like, yo, name one thing about Korra and I'll debate it with you. A lot of people come up there, they'll do the same old shit. Oh, now that she opened the spirit portals, all the bad spirits. Even in that debate, the guy was like, what do you mean all the bad spirits? Oh, you got Ko the face stealer. I mean, the person that stayed in one place. But that's just one example. That's literally only like one example. And some of the spirits, I've been watching Avatar the Last Airbender, right? I'm up to episode 8. I'm doing this rewatch of that and The Legend of Korra. So when I have these debates, I'm ready. So far, the only bad spirit that Aang came up against was Hebai or Hebai, the black and white spirit, who was a panda spirit. But he wasn't bad. It was just, what happened was his domain that he was supposed to be like his domain, pretty much. Like, he's one of like the spirit guardians of that area in the forest. The Fire Nation came and burned a big chunk of it, and that pissed him off. Like, yo, you burned my home. So he kind of started wilding out a little bit. Aang went to go deal with it, and pretty much, that's it. It was humans though that caused that. Like, he was like, Hebai was perfectly fine, but the Fire Nation came and was just burning up fucking wood everywhere. And like, yo, if somebody comes to burn your house, you're gonna be pissed. Now, will you take it on everybody around you? No, you would go to the specific people. But if you're stuck there, you probably might lash out to people around you. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying, yo, spirits and the humans were separated for a long time. A lot of spirits, even though like they have the possibility to cross over to the physical plane, they don't necessarily do it a lot. Because spirits don't be wanting to do with humans. Humans so much don't be wanting to deal with spirits. But that's neither here nor there. Again, that wasn't necessarily like a super evil spirit, okay? And these people don't, it's like they disregard the fact that there's also bad humans too. There were humans. If you go back and look at that Avatar 1, the first Avatar, if you go back and look at those episodes, the people, when they got those bending powers and they were like in that area, the people were actually fucking with the spirits and like causing the damage. So the real danger, it wasn't more so like, for me, like the spirits had to be kept away from the humans. It was like the humans had to be kept away from the spirits. But the hates come up so much. I was like, dog, you know what? I was gonna do my Yu-Gi-Oh rewatch. I said, fuck it. I just looked at the Yu-Gi-Oh summary because once I look at summaries of animes that I've watched, it flashes back to me in those instances as they explain it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I would recommend Yu-Gi-Oh to anybody because Yu-Gi-Oh is fucking entertaining. That first one, entertaining. The dice one, nah, it was just a cool type of way that Yu-Gi-Oh could be not Yu-Gi-Oh, dual monsters could be played. But the Seal of Orichalcos was kind of an interesting thing. The capsule monsters kind of arc was all right. And the main things was just like Duelist Kingdom and Duelist City. And this nigga Seto Kaiba being one of the biggest haters. Like, like, yo, his hate for Yugi and him wanting to prove himself better than Yugi drove him to do excellent things. That's a good use to hate. Like, you hate so much that it drove you to do fantastic things for the dueling community. But still, you're a big ass hater. All right. But man, is he good with the one-liners. He's good with the one-liners. Especially when it comes to Joey. Dog. It's one of them things like, you know, when people are making jokes and someone gets joked on mad, like really bad, and niggas is laughing, but you hear one person laughing a little too hard, you know, like, nigga, what are you laughing at? Matter of fact, I'm on you now. That's how Kaiba is when Kaiba loses the Yugi. Kaiba just looking at Joey like, I know you ain't talking to you. Like, he can beat me. You don't stand a chance against me. You're washed. I have a better time playing solitaire and having better competition than playing against you. Stuff like that. But with Avatar rewatch, like I said, I definitely want to again know what I'm talking about, because a lot of times I will watch stuff and it's just, you put it on the back burner. You need to rewatch it so that way it comes up, all the information floods back up, and say, okay, I'm about to get in these debates and I'm about to kick some ass. So far, Avatar is one of those shows where I could rewatch it and not be bored, because it's always been interesting how they introduce certain aspects of how different bending cultures not only dress, how their structures are, where they decide to live at, the environment around them, the customs, how they bend their elements. There's like, it's a martial art. Earthbending's a martial art. Firebending's a martial art. Waterbending's a martial art. Airbending. They're all martial arts. They're all different powers. They all mean something. So yeah, but the Avatar flag, the Avatar flag got to stop. However, no one's safe from criticism. That's why I also be looking at this too, like, okay, y'all be pointing a lot about Korra, and even though Aang was 12, which you have to highlight, like, yo, Aang was 12, but still, you're the Avatar, my G. And you're not safe from criticism. No one in that show is safe from criticism. But I will say that Aang literally had some months, because he had until that summer coming up, when Sozin's Comet was coming up, to do something, or Fire Lord Ozai would have had the world on a roast. And it was just like, you know what? It's just going to be us. All right. Y'all about to bow down to all Fire Nation. This is a Fire Nation world. Them niggas was like Germans, like Nazis in a way. That's why I cleaned it up. They're like Nazis in a way, not Germans. Shout out to Germany. Not the bad side. Yeah, as far as cartoons, I kind of mashed that together. Anime, cartoons. I'm still watching Blue Exorcist. You starting to get to like the nitty gritty of what's going on, what happened with the mother, with Satan, with their adoptive father, why he cared so much about them, why he kind of treated them a little differently. Soul Leveling. Soul Leveling is a show about him. Capital H, capital I, capital M. It's a show about him, okay? And not him from the Powerpuff Girls. I'm talking him. Sung Jong-woo is him, Himothy, Himalayas. And this show is doing it good. It's just a power show. The character gets an overpoweredly skill and becomes overly powered. That's probably an anime somewhere. I don't know. Someone's going to make it, and it's probably going to make millions. That's where it's leaning to now. Your anime titles have to be a paragraph, and that's damn near telling you to show. But no, that's still going good. I got some things I put on there like SSSS Gridman. I can talk about that another time. Saint Seiya I could only find it in Spanish. Okay, because Saint Seiya, for those that don't know, blew up in Latin America. And Saint Seiya was fire, but I could never I knew of Saint Seiya, but I haven't watched it. I knew of it because of the Shonen Jump game. Not the one that came out for the PlayStation 4 or nothing. I'm talking about the one that came for the PlayStation 3. Yes, the PlayStation. No, I came to the PlayStation 4. If I'm not mistaken, it was a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. But it came to that shit. And that was fire. The one that came out for the series or the Xbox One. But anyway, Saint Seiya, I've always seen this, and he always had that armor, the Pegasus armor. And I'm like, dog, I kind of want to watch this show, but I can only find it when it had nothing but it was Japanese, but it had Spanish subtitles. I'm not versed in Spanish at all, except for Buenos dias, Buenos tardes, Buenos noches, uno dos. Gracias. That's all you get from me, boss. I pass Spanish, and then I kind of put it in the back of my mind, But now I get to watch it. It's on Crunchyroll, and it has 112 episodes, so that's probably the whole run. And it was made in the 80s, so you got that 80s charm. I like 80s charm. Let's get with it, okay? I put that up there. I tried Shangri-La Frontier. I just can't get into Shangri-La Frontier. I don't know what it is. I just can't. It doesn't grab my attention. And there's action in it. There's story, but maybe it's just because I'm trying to focus on these other ones that I really don't care about it. All right, I was doing a Stranger Things rewatch. That was good. I can't wait for it to finally come out. As I heard, hear that it finished production. It finished production and filming all that shit in December. So we should be looking for it either late this year or early next year. They don't want to keep us waiting for too long, even though it's been a fucking long time. 2022 is when season 4 ended, so they're gonna have to explain away. These niggas look like they should be in college. You do get people that are 20s and 30s that look like they could play high school people, but no, my nigga, come on. The kids have grown up exponentially. You're gonna have to explain this, do a time skip or something. But yeah, keeping up with those animes. Now we're gonna get into, because I did tap into that, the Stranger Things rewatch. And for those that watch Stranger Things, right? Season 5 is the finale, so teardrop there. But also, spoiler alert, another one. If you get into this, you didn't watch Stranger Things, God help you. But if you didn't watch Stranger Things, just favorite this and come back to it later, because I want to get into a little bit of the spoilers part. But for those that don't care too, but I'm season 5 now. This whole community, this whole state, this thing that was once kept secret about the Upside Down, the Demogorgons, and Vecna, excuse me, Not only is Vecna still out there, but that nigga is more than pissed. But he got his objective, which was, yo, I got these 4 portals technically, so this shit's open. What's gonna happen now? Because now, like, what was his plan? Was it for them to sneak in, and now they gotta do what, like, go directly to him and get him? Because I'm pretty sure he's gonna build himself up even stronger. So 11's gonna have to be stronger than that. 8 escaped, so maybe she'll make a return. I'm sure she didn't get captured. If she did get captured by cops, she could just make an illusion and get away with it. So I'm sure she'll make a return. None of the other kids really survived. Maybe. Who knows? But we still got that. The gang is still there. The tough redhead, tough 80s redhead, bones broken and went blind real quick. Just probably like consciousness not there when Elle tried to visit her. And hopefully they pull it out some way to where she's like, either she gets a power or she's helping on like the mental scape, or her spirit is able to interact with stuff. I don't know. Hopefully that comes up to that. Man, I just hope this shit ends with like a big ass battle. I'm sure he's gonna the town too, and with the town like that, I'm pretty sure this gets more than enough coverage from the government. You know, all branches of the government. It's gonna be a lockdown on that town. Anybody that's in it or trying to get into it, or anybody's trying to get out of it, stuff like that. Because this shit has reached the news. It's no longer just like, hey, you know, a fire happened, or, you know, a specific event. Like, somebody just went missing and they returned. Nah, shit hits the fan. Everybody's seen some shit too. And that big ass storm that was happening. Shit hits the fan. Break glass. You got to do something. I can't wait to see the finish. I trust the Duffer Brothers wholeheartedly. They haven't let me down on any season, and I'm sure they're not gonna let me down, fingers crossed, on the 5th one. Another show that has been fucking fire that I encourage you to go watch is Paradise. I'm not gonna spoil it. This is just the premise. All right. You get this guy. Apparently, he's the, you know, one of the guards for the president. Okay. Going to do his usual routine check-in. Do the little guard thing. Knock on the door. Hey, Prez, you okay? I ain't hear no shit, Prez. You all right? Okay. Like, listen, if you're not decent, you know what I mean? I do this, but I got to make sure it's my job. You know, you open the door and you see that the Prez is on the floor, no longer part of the living. It gives himself a chance to scope the scene. And then that's when things get rolling. Because with the president gone and him finding it, but him taking the time to look at clues, it's an odd thing because they are in some sort of safe haven city. Now, what led to them getting to safe haven city, how it works, who could have possibly done it, all these other things, you just gotta watch the show. I'm just telling you that it's 8 episodes, like pretty much almost an hour long each, and it's definitely worth your time. If you're looking for something to watch that's got that like whodunit type of mystery, that's got it's the same. The person that made this is the same person that made This Is Us. So if you know anything about This Is Us, I really don't know too much, but I heard that it was a good show, and it's got like the whole flashback thing that leads to the present that kind of helps out. This got a whole lot of that, and it's got good flashbacks that tie into things. And man, those flashbacks are crucial. With people saying the show's crucial, sometimes you'll look at shit and be like, "Yo, who's doing what? How?" Or some characters will piss you off. I'm not gonna say too much. This is it. It's just the daughter. Okay, main character's daughter thin ice. All right, thin fucking ice. I'm talking sheet pan ice, Missy. Okay. Fuck. Sometimes it shows like, yo. Sometimes kids have the audacity. Like I'm gonna start talking like Stephen A. Smith. I mean, yeah. Like, yo, they got the audacity. Though. That's what I'm saying, man. Two people that have strong audacity in shows. White women have the audacity to be doing some of the craziest shit and expecting people to come rescue or deal with it out of pocket. And kids have the audacity to do shit. And it was Stranger Things too. Like, the kids had the audacity to keep secrets involving monsters or a different dimension that could have been hell. Y'all are kids. Tell an adult. The adults might not believe us. Nigga, show them. Okay, keep talking to them until they believe, so that way they can be like, oh shit. Some shows, but that's how you know it's a good show, because it keeps me like that. It's just, oh my god, that should be pissing me off so much. Oh man, let's get into some video game stuff. As you Pokemon heads have seen, Pokemon's coming out, specifically with one that's standing out. You know, they got a Pokemon Stadium that's coming out, Pokemon Champions, some stuff for Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Pocket, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's semi-fun, okay? Pokemon Pocket is semi-fun. It's a Pokemon card game, but it's very simplified, easy to just log on, challenge a random person. You gotta strike the person, or you gotta beat cards 3 times, then you win the match. They got packs on there. You don't have to spend money. You log in, you do some objectives, you get enough to where it gives you enough cards, and you just make do with that. Okay? It's not crazy. The game that is the talk is Pokemon ZA or AZ, whatever you want to call it. Okay? You remember the Pokemon Zygarde, right? So the game, now Pokemon games are starting to take the same mechanics. The little test run they had when it was Pokemon Arceus, they're doing those type of mechanics now. But the thing is that people are kind of tired of this like sort of stiff like Pokemon games where one like it looks cool, it looks good and all, but we expect better. Like, imagine what, and we kind of really don't have to imagine because we've seen it with Power World. Power World showed Pokemon, like, yo, you better step up because we got games that come out like this. Power World was fun as shit. I'm not gonna hold you. The slavery aspect was a little much. You know what I mean? Putting your, you know, pals to work and handing them a Draco. Having them terrorize the town as you try to catch them all. It's a little crazy, but it still had a good aspect to it. It had a survival aspect to it, a little bit of fun. You know, it was just one of those things. Pokemon, and when you go from that and then going back to Pokemon just looks so, I like to use big words, rudimentary. Do I know what rudimentary means? No, but I feel like it fit, okay? You know what? I'll use a different one. Mundane. The Pokemon games look a little mundane now. Sure, you guys went to the 3D models, the Pokemon pop out. I've been here since Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy, not Game Boy Color, the Game Boy, the like the Cyan. Shout out, I got me a Hal Jordan Green Lantern to go with the John Stewart and Kyle Rayner, but the shit was like as big as this, big as that, small screen. It only showed this greenish gray color and black, super pixelated. But man, Pokemon Blue, finding that rare candy missing no cheat, like once somebody told me that, sky's the limit. Missing no cheat is one of my favorite cheats of all time, next to the unlimited fucking ammo from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and the tank cheat. Those who know. But when you see these games, and they do have a little approach now where first off, you're in this big ass town, so you're not really going like traveling this far here, this far here. It's just you're traveling far, but within a big ass town, a big ass city, pretty much. Put it that way, a big ass city. I think it's a knockoff of Paris, so a big ass Paris like city that you're going around to, that the gyms are going to be into. You get to go on the roofs for some of them, but still, like you kind of want better. You kind of want the shit to look better, more customization options, better overall graphics, just better. Like we want better. We want all the Pokemon. You got like 1,000 Pokemon, and you keep doing games to where in this region you only get this selection of like 150, and then we add on an extra 100 in this region. You only get this one, but you get different versions. That's cool, but dog, give us all the Pokemon, so that way we can have different varieties of teams, different possibilities. Like, and not only that, but because now they don't even know like what other Pokemon to make or create. They just keep remixing the ones that they have. Like, oh, we're gonna give them this form, we're gonna give them this region form. There's so many games out there, knockoff games nonetheless, but there's so many games, there's so many fan art pieces of Pokemon that if you outsourced it and was like, yo, let's have a big competition of the first 150 Pokemon completely made up of fans, from starters to legendary to everything in between, and you picked a different region, that would go stupid. You would get a crazy amount, and then just give like each winner like some money and a plaque to say, hey, like you created this Pokemon. And it's so many ideas and some of these IPs. It's just Japan likes to be shut in when it comes they're starting to branch out when it comes to like anime and manga a little bit, but not too much. Like they just want to stick to their stories, and there's a lot of people that have ideas out here to make good shows and good manga that could be spread out. Manhwa's getting accepted. Like it's a lot of things out here that they could tap into before it's too late. But with Pokemon, you have the added feature, right, where during the battle you can position your Pokemon to move out of a turn's way, a move's way. So maybe it'll have a little bit of effect, but not as much as if they just stayed there. So some moves you can actually dodge, some moves you can't, but you can still like run around in position with your. So that's good. That is almost like the show, because in the show, if a Pokemon's making an attack, sometimes the Pokemon will be like ordered to like, yo, dip, dodge the attack if they're too slow, and then come back in. So it has that element of it, cool. But there's like, it's just like the iPhone. The iPhone, every year they come out with a new iPhone. Hey, we have a slightly better graphics card, and we added like a fifth fucking camera on the back of your phone for no reason. Hey, this year we're adding a button on the side. This year we're connecting the buttons on the side, so now it's just one big button, and you tap it when you we're rounding the edges off instead of having them square. Like they're just doing minuscule ass shit as they go on and calling it something completely brand new. And people are starting to get tired of it. I am tired of this, all right? I'm super tired of this, of the iPhone. It's not really like it used to be. There's no big ass jumps. It's just like, it's like short choppy steps. When you have these other phones like the Androids that are doing better, they have more things going on. There's more phone companies. Like it. But getting it back to Pokemon, it looks like they're starting to implement more stuff as far as in the game, sure. But the way that they're implementing it, it's like, yo, just if they would put more thought just into the Nintendo Switch alone. Okay, cool. The fun thing was to bring it along with you if you had to go on a trip or something like that. But you had the DS for that. You had Nintendo DS for small games like that, cool. For these big games that we want a good like Zelda game, or all the IPs you stick with, the Mario games and stuff, y'all could do so much more with a more powerful system. The more powerful system can't be mobile. I'm sorry. And some of those do look cool, but sometimes we want it to just be stationary on the console. A lot of people are playing their games on the console. Just make a console that plugs into the TV, stays at there. Like, it's specifically for that. And just create better stuff. Or either that, like, create better stuff, or honestly, Nintendo, you might just have to turn into like a gaming company where like you're just a big like Nintendo games, and you put it out to the masses. You put it out to PlayStation, you put it out to Xbox, you put it out to PC. I'm sorry, because this long, even though you guys are coming out with the Switch 2, it's still just going to be the same shit at the end of the day. There's not going to be a super big jump. It's like you guys are trying to make like PlayStation 3 type stuff, PlayStation 3 graphics in a way, but we're on PlayStation 5, about to be on PlayStation 6. Like we know what good graphics are and what games can be if you give them a more powerful system, more powerful backing. Just just get on it, please. Shit's kind of annoying in a way. What else came out? Because it was a lot of Pokemon stuff. Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds is fucking fun. I got introduced to Monster Hunter through Monster Hunter World a couple years ago. Monster Hunter World. That was fun as shit. For those that don't know Monster Hunter, it's in the title. You're a hunter who goes out to slay specific monsters, and when you slay those monsters, you get, carve them up, you get their items from them. You get teeth, you get claws, pelts, scales. You take those items, and when you get enough of them, you're able to make armor and weapons that have special effects, that give you better defense, better offense. Like I said, better, special things in general. So that way, when you're going to hunt another creature, you're kind of strong enough to do that. And it's just you going out, and these creatures are different, but you're going out to hunt those to create better gear to get stronger. So that way you can go after stronger monsters and stronger versions of these monsters. And the fun is just like in the idea of just the hunt and seeing if you can, seeing what weapons you can come up with, like just going out, having like, even with your friends going out on hunts, it's like that. Monster Hunter is very fun. Monster Hunter Wilds is still the same type of fun and a little bit better. Same type of fun, a little bit better. Definitely worth the purchase, worth the $70 if you were thinking about it. You don't gotta think about it. It's worth the $70. Go ahead and get it. So between that and Marvel Rivals, because Marvel Rivals is still cooking. That when they came out with the thing and Johnny, the Human Torch, I like to call him Johnny anyway. That added a little bit of something to it, but it wasn't like a crazy thing where like, oh my god, everybody's just constantly picking Johnny. It's only for when they release those new characters, they want you to get used to using them. So they'll just put out challenges like, hey, we got challenges set up for the new characters that came out. Just keep using them. You do this. They got a good roster. Is it still the same type of maps and stuff here and there? Yeah, sure, but it's still actually kind of fun. But Marvel Rivals be pissing me off sometimes, and not the game itself. The people in the game that will not do what the fuck they're supposed to, or they just can't. Like, it's not supposed to be that serious, but damn, like, do something. Don't go 0-10 or like 0-8 the whole game, and you stuck to the same character. And you did not switch. Boss, I understand 0-2. Hell, I understand 0-3. But 0-4, like, listen, if you have not gotten to a comfortable place with that character in that match, there's no shame in switching your character, boss. You should not have any pride when it comes to this. No need for pride. Just put the pride to the side. Switch your character out. Okay, to one that you're comfortable with, that can help us with this shit, and get it going. Try it again in another match. Don't just keep fucking it up for everybody else. People who pick their characters late and say, fuck it, well, I don't want to be a healer, and just don't pick a healer. It's like an unwritten rule, okay? It's nice that people can do it with one healer, all right? If people want to go overboard, 3 healers. But the bare minimum, it has to be like the overall accepted minimum is 2 healers. It don't matter if you have 2 healers and 4 DPS, or 2 healers, 3 tanks, and like 1 DPS or something. It has to be 2 healers. It makes it easier, sustainable. But you get in a match and like, you know what, man, nah, somebody else is gonna have to do it. Or people will do shit when they play chicken and be like, nah, I'm picking a DPS, and just whoever does bad, I'm just gonna send a message, say, hey, maybe you should switch to healer. Somebody tried to do that shit to me once. Oh, dog. First off, I'm not even doing that bad. I'm evening out. Secondly, you decided to pick healer and then switch off of it, and then be like, damn, how do we catch work? I don't know. We was used to 2 healers. Some people just don't. Get good at all 3 roles. Even if it's 1 character in each, get good at all 3 roles. I'm telling you, it helps everyone. Video game etiquette, people. And not you bitch ass people that just feel like in anger and just for clout, you just want to scream nigger to the top of your lungs in rapid succession. It's 2025, boss. That's not doing anything. And you're a bitch for that too, because we can't see you. But if we could see you and see you, you wouldn't say that shit. A lot of people on games, online and shit like that, there's a lot of stuff they say where they do it because we don't see you. If we could see you and be right there and be like, yo, say that shit. What was old buddy when he was on the news and the white guy was like, man, you guys get to say it? Yo, so say it. Say it, dog. Say it, nigga. As a matter of fact, I'll say it with you. We can say it together. I'll count down. We can both say it. Like yo, that type of shit. Come on, y'all are killing me. Let me see. Anything else as far as no story writing? I kind of took a seat back. I gotta figure out where I want to go in a direction. Because I have this idea. I wanted them separate, but now I want them together. Like, I had this idea for making my own sort of like Marvel DC-esque comic book world that has different type of powers. I have these ideas where there's different stories that have different sort of power sources. So they kind of work by themselves a little bit, but they're still kind of like pocketed in a small type of place, where I kind of want them to be part of a larger story, a larger world. And it's figuring that out. Like, to include people that have magic. Like, where does it originate from? Are there different dimensions? How do I include that? The people who are, in a sense, mutants, metahumans. How did that happen? I have an answer for that one. But are there different types of metahumans as well? Different sort of energy sources and mundane people and advanced technology. You got aliens and all this shit. And it starts to get like, yo, let me just try to create some characters and put them in this starter story. But the truth of the matter is that for anybody that's trying to do stuff like that, like to catch up to Marvel or DC, you just got to go at the pace that you're at. There's no catching up to these niggas in only a year or some change. If you can, I'm not gonna, and I'm never gonna say that it's impossible. It's just super fucking difficult. Like, Marvel and DC has been around since like what, the 40s, the 50s, like back when there was like different publishing and comic places, and they just had to amalgamate. They just had to come together because, maybe they were failing and had to get their characters over to DC or to Marvel. But that shit was years and years. Even the characters, the plethora of characters we see now on both the villains, the heroes, and the supporting cast, like, that's been developed over time. The abilities, the way people do things has been developed over time. So you're never going to be able to catch up in an instant, but it is a big task. And that's the task that, and mind you, it's just me. Like, I'm literally trying to come up with motivations for the villains and the heroes per se, how people come into their power, how would it fit, how do aliens fit into this scenario to introduce this, but then like what's the history on them, and it's just different shit. I'm gonna have to do what DC does and do like a crisis like a crisis every year in the story or something, so that way things give me a flashpoint, that switch or something like that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And for now, like I'll do like small, like, all right, touching on this character, all right, let me do some fan writing, fan fiction a little bit. The last time I done fan fiction was like maybe 2 months ago, and I was doing like medieval DC stuff. I know they did a medieval thing already, but I was kind of doing my take on a medieval DC version, and it was kind of coming out like that. I kind of want to do it for Marvel too. Yeah. But writing is listen, once you try to write, even when it's just stuff that you like, it's still difficult, and you understand that struggling part of like starving artists, like struggling writers, writer's block. It's a real thing, super real thing. But once you get over it, it's like, yo, you're just glad to get over it and to just be typing and writing. ChatGPT is your friend, not your answer. I mean, not the leader. It's a friend. Okay, friend, sidekick, something you could semi count on if you know how to prompt it right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the show. I have been yapping for I don't know how long because I haven't gone over to really see what it looks like on OBS. But I have enjoyed this time. I'm going to do inside outside living. Okay. To try and get more topics. Again, trying to figure out like how I want to continue on. Made my little opening. Next thing will be to try and work on an outro. Try to do timestamps a little bit. And then to just progress. I want to see how I am after 100 episodes of this. You know, where will I be at? How will I continue to move forward? And plus, this is something for me where I want to watch back on it and just see what I was talking about. See like mannerisms, how I was doing things, how I've changed in camera quality, and where I decided to shoot episodes, what I decided to talk about at the time. So stuff like that. Any tips will be perfectly fine. Any helpful hints, directions, if you would. As always, thank you for taking the time out, even if it's been a second, even if it's been a minute. If you watched the whole thing for the hour and some change, I appreciate you. Time is precious. It's something we can't get back. And the fact that you spent even an iota, that's a big word, look it up, an iota of time to check your boy out, the main character, the captain himself, Fly Guy Kai. I do appreciate you. Love you. Thank you very much. As always, you know, shared a little snippet of the video. Maybe somebody got some prospecting spots out there. Like, yo, we could use this guy. He likes to yap about the same things we do. We get together. I do it from the video call. I got my shit set up. Okay, my camera's over there, ready to go. Well, it's here, but the computer and stuff's over here. Liking goes a long way. Just a like. I mean, just a like. It ain't like Instagram and TikTok and stuff where if you like it, it just stays in a particular page. Like, no, you give a like on a YouTube video. It's there. It helps me out. The views help me out. Subscriptions help me out per se. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, God bless you. Higher power bless you. If you don't believe in a higher power, may the energies out there around in the universe bless you. Keep going, keep striving, and never give up. Always remember the 5 things, which is to eat better, hydrate, a good hydration source. Mind your business, because you could really I've seen a lot of shit in 2025 where people weren't minding their business and caught work. I don't want you to catch work. Mind your business responsibly. Don't do the most. You know what I mean by don't do the most. Like, don't like, if it seems like it's too much, don't do it. Like, if it's overly too much, don't do it. Don't do the most. And last but not least, get the getting. You're sitting on an idea. You're thinking about going to work out. You're thinking about getting things in motion. And the only thing you're missing is someone to tell you to go. That's me. I'm telling you to go. Shoot the video. Talk to the people. Get your TED Talk on. Go apply for that job. Go responsibly buy that car. I mean, take that little liquor shot. You know, all that, okay? Stay blessed up. Stay rested up.